Hi guys, welcome back to Finesse. We all love gripping thriller shows, the kind that pull us in with mystery, tension, and sharp storytelling. That's why we decided to compile the top 10 best thriller series you can stream this December across Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and AMC+. It's a solid lineup of atmospheric, twist-filled, and binge-worthy series, and each one is exciting to revisit, even if you've already watched some of them before. A few great shows aren't included here, simply because we've already featured them in earlier videos, but this list still packs plenty of intensity and surprises. Well, let's not waste any time, and begin. Number 10. Dispatches from Elsewhere. Peter, a quietly fractured man drifting through the monotony of his days, is clinging to a life that feels painfully small. Years of isolation have carved a hollow space inside him, teaching him to observe the world instead of participating in it. He's committed to pretending everything is fine, even though he knows something vital has slipped away. But this balance begins to splinter when he's pulled into a strange, unseen movement led by Simone, a restless seeker hiding her insecurities beneath sharp humor and fierce independence. Their encounter with a cryptic message becomes the spark for a curious alliance, a connection born not from trust, but from shared disillusionment and a desire for something that feels real. This surreal scavenger hunt becomes a winding passage through uncertainty. Beneath its playful surface lies a maze of unspoken fears. Peter's quiet desperation forces him outside the safety of routine, pushing him and Simone into experiences that test their emotional limits. As they navigate this shifting world, they're drawn into revelations that strike closer than expected. Every clue makes them confront the lives they've been avoiding, and every step exposes the truths they hope to bury. Dispatches from Elsewhere is a tender, offbeat exploration of identity, a collision of people searching for meaning, each trapped in an invisible cage, each hoping to find a missing piece of themselves in the unfolding mystery. Number 9. The Price of Confession. An Yoon-soo, an art teacher whose life once revolved around quiet routines and small joys, watches everything collapse when she's wrongfully accused of murdering her husband. Years of emotional restraint and buried fear haven't prepared her for the crushing weight of suspicion now closing in. She's desperate to hold on to any remaining sense of stability, even as the world turns against her. But her fragile resolve fractures when she encounters Mo-eun, an enigmatic woman marked by deep trauma and a past already stained by violence. Their meeting inside detention sparks an uneasy connection, not born from trust, but from vulnerability, shared danger, and a risky proposal that could reshape both their futures. This shadowed town tightens around them like a narrowing corridor filled with secrets and unspoken agendas. Beneath its ordinary surface simmer fear, judgment, and truths no one is ready to confront. Yoon-soo's spiraling case forces her into a reluctant alliance with Mo-eun, pushing them into choices that test their moral boundaries. As the two women navigate this tense, closing maze, they're drawn into consequences neither can outrun. Every step forces them to face the lives they've tried to escape, and every moment exposes wounds that demand reckoning. The Price of Confession becomes a stark, atmospheric study of guilt, trauma, and the devastating cost of truth. A collision of two women fighting for survival, each burdened by a past that refuses to stay buried. Number 8. Deadwater Fell. In a quiet Scottish village, wrapped in routine comfort, Tom Kendrick, a respected doctor with a seemingly perfect family, moves through life with the calm assurance of a man in control. Yet beneath that polished calm lies a quiet strain, the kind that settles into a person's bones long before anyone else notices. His days feel orderly, almost too still, as if something delicate is always on the edge of cracking. But when a devastating tragedy tears through the community, that illusion of harmony collapses instantly. The peaceful facade splinters, revealing wounds no one realized were there. The village, once held together by familiarity, becomes a place of sharpened suspicions and uneasy whispers. At the center of this unraveling stands Jess, a woman weighted by her own quiet heartbreak. Drawn into the storm by loyalty and doubt, she finds herself stepping onto emotional ground that shifts beneath her feet, pulled deeper into a maze of uncertainty. What follows is a close, unsettling examination of intimacy. How well people think they know one another, and how frightening it is when that certainty dissolves. Each revelation cuts slowly, carving through the fragile bonds that once held the community together. Deadwater Fell becomes a haunting portrait of trust breaking apart in painful motion. A tense, human-driven descent into moral grayness, where grief collides with suspicion and every truth carries the echo of something darker. Number 7. Riviera. Georgina, a woman accustomed to the polished calm of privilege, watches the gleaming world she trusted slip through her fingers. The life she built on elegance and certainty fractures suddenly, leaving her grasping for clarity in a maze of lies. Luxury has softened many around her, but sharpened her instincts, teaching her to survive on caution rather than comfort. She clings to the remnants of truth, desperate to understand the man she thought she knew. But this pursuit falters the moment she is drawn into the orbit of the powerful Cleos family, a dynasty bound by loyalty, envy, and long-nurtured secrets. Their presence on the sun-drenched coast becomes a shimmering barrier instead of a refuge, trapping Georgina in an uneasy tangle built on charm, fear, and unspoken debts. The Riviera's beauty becomes a deceptive stage, hiding danger beneath its perfect symmetry. Beneath the calm waters runs a current of entitlement, betrayal, and silent threats. Georgina's determination pulls her into risky alliances, pushing her deeper into a world where every gesture masks an agenda, and every truth demands a price. As she moves through this elegant but treacherous terrain, Georgina is swept into a tightening storm of consequences. Each revelation drags her closer to shadows she never imagined, and each decision strips away the illusions she once relied on. Riviera unfolds as a sleek, intoxicating descent into wealth's darker corners. A portrait of a woman fighting to reclaim her life while surrounded by people who thrive on secrets, each guarding a truth capable of undoing everything she has left. Number 6. 12 Monkeys. Cole, a man battered by years of ruin and haunted memories, clings to a single thread of purpose as he fights to keep a collapsing future from swallowing everything. A lifetime of dead ends and impossible choices has etched a permanent urgency into his bones, teaching him to endure on instinct rather than optimism. He's committed to altering the fate of humanity by any means necessary. But this fragile determination begins to splinter the moment he encounters Cassie, a resolute scientist bound to logic, order, and a world still unaware of its approaching devastation. Their meeting across fractured timelines becomes the catalyst for an uneasy alliance, a partnership shaped not by trust but by the crushing weight of necessity, and the narrowing window left to act. Time itself becomes a hostile landscape, a maze of shifting possibilities and hidden dangers. Beneath every step lies a ripple of consequences waiting to erupt. Cole's desperate mission forces a reluctant collaboration, thrusting both into relentless circumstances that push them far beyond their limits. As Cole and Cassie navigate this unstable, ever-shifting reality, they are drawn into a chain of profound emotional costs. Each decision drags them closer to the lives they've tried to outrun, and every moment exposes truths neither is prepared to face. 12 Monkeys is a tense, deeply human journey through moral ambiguity. A collision of two people fighting against the tide of destiny, each burdened by their own past, each confronting a future that refuses to remain fixed. Number 5. Salem. Mary, once a woman anchored by quiet hopes, now walks through Salem with a resolve forged from secrets, sacrifice, and a burden she can never speak aloud. The town's rising hysteria coils around her like smoke, forcing her to navigate every moment with precision, fearing that one misstep could unravel the fragile power she clings to. But this delicate balance falters when John Alden returns, a hardened war veteran marked by conflict and betrayal. His unexpected arrival in a town poisoned by paranoia becomes the spark for a volatile reunion, a connection shaped by a past filled with longing, doubt, and unfinished truths. As hidden forces tighten their grip, Magistrate Hale, a man bound to Salem's darkest undercurrents, maneuvers from the shadows, guiding events with quiet authority. His presence deepens the unease, revealing that the town's chaos is no accident, but a carefully orchestrated storm. Salem itself becomes a treacherous landscape of whispered threats and shifting alliances. Every corner hides a danger. Every choice pulls its characters deeper into a web where faith, fear, and ambition collide. As Mary and John confront the forces gathering around them, they're drawn into consequences that test their loyalty, their courage, and the secrets they've spent years burying. Salem is a gripping descent into suspicion and power, a tale of love, manipulation, and survival in a world where truth is fragile and darkness moves quietly behind every door. Number 4. The Assassin. Julie, a former contract killer trying to fade into ordinary life, clings to the fragile peace she has built after years of violence. The shadows of her past shape her days with a vigilance she can't silence. She's determined to protect her son and preserve the fragile normalcy she fought to create. But that balance collapses when a figure she once escaped resurfaces, dragging her back into a world she swore to abandon. Forced into motion, Julie walks a thin line between survival and the identity she's trying to leave behind. Edward, quietly burdened yet perceptive, becomes both her anchor and her greatest vulnerability. The city turns into a maze of shifting intentions and buried grudges. Every step deepens the danger, every choice tightens the trap. As Julie confronts old truths and new threats, she faces a reckoning that tests her limits and her loyalty. The Assassin becomes a taut, atmospheric journey, a portrait of a woman battling the past that refuses to release her, and a mother fighting to keep her world from falling apart. Number 3. Hanna. A girl raised in absolute isolation, Hanna is a creature of raw survival, owned to a silent, lethal edge in the frozen European wilderness. Her past is a phantom limb, and her future an unmarked path, guided only by the stringent, uncompromising instruction of the man she knows as her father. She is utterly singular, a walking contradiction of deadly capacity and profound, innocent curiosity. This precarious existence shatters the moment she steps into the wider world. The break initiates a relentless, high-stakes pursuit led by Marissa Wiegler, a veteran intelligence operative whose outward composure barely masks a decades-long personal obsession with Hanna and her origins. Wiegler's pursuit is not just professional, it is a meticulous, driven hunt to contain a secret she helped create. The ensuing chase is a serpentine trans-European collision of will and skill. It forces Hanna to navigate not only the hostile terrain of the espionage world, but also the perplexing, overwhelming terrain of normal adolescence. Every interaction, every fleeting moment of connection, is a profound risk, exposing her vulnerability beneath the tactical training. As the lines of the chase blur, the series delves into the unsettling legacy of the program that engineered Hanna. This journey is a tense dissection of nature versus design, a stark portrayal of what happens when engineered perfection is pitted against untamed humanity. Hanna is a taut, kinetic examination of identity and inheritance. It is a story of a daughter's quest for truth, a relentless agent's fight for control, and the unforgiving consequences that arise when carefully guarded lives are violently exposed to the light. Number 2. Broadchurch. Alec, a weathered detective running on frayed conviction, arrives in a seaside town already drowning in whispers. Years of unspoken failure have stiffened his posture and sharpened his instincts, pushing him to cling to the last remnants of control. His days are marked by restless scrutiny, his nights haunted by a past he refuses to name. He's determined to rebuild his fractured reputation, even if it means tearing open wounds others would rather leave closed. But this fragile focus is disrupted the moment he collides with Ellie, a local officer rooted deeply in the community, guided more by compassion than suspicion. Their uneasy partnership forms on the cliffs above a tragedy that reshapes everything, a case that demands answers, fuels tension, and plants distrust in every corner of the town. This coastal haven becomes a pressure chamber of unraveling secrets. Beneath its calm waves lies a tangled network of private fears and buried loyalties. Alec's relentless pursuit forces uncomfortable revelations, pulling Ellie into dilemmas that stretch far beyond the badge she wears. As the investigation tightens its grip, both officers are pushed into a gauntlet of emotional reckoning. Every step forward cracks another facade. Every revelation threatens the fragile balance of a community already trembling at its core. Broadchurch is a haunting atmospheric exploration of truth and consequence, a story where grief lingers like salt in the air, and where every character carries a weight that refuses to be washed away. Number 1. Peaky Blinders. Thomas Shelby, a battle-worn man shaped by the scars of war and the harsh streets of Birmingham, is relentless in his pursuit of power and stability. Years of violence, betrayal, and calculated risk have carved a permanent intensity into his demeanor, teaching him to navigate a world where loyalty is fleeting and ambition is survival. He's determined to build and protect his empire at any cost. But this fragile order is tested the moment new forces begin to stir around him. Rivals, lawmen, and shadows from his past that refuse to stay buried. Each encounter in the murky alleys and smoke-filled rooms of the city becomes a chess move in a high-stakes game where trust is rare and danger constant. The industrial heart of Birmingham becomes a labyrinth of schemes and confrontations. Beneath its soot-covered surface lies a network of secrets and ambitions, forcing Thomas and his family into situations that demand cunning, courage, and moral compromise. As Thomas navigates this treacherous world, every decision pulls him deeper into the consequences of his choices. Every alliance and rivalry exposes the fragility of his control, and every victory comes with a price he cannot ignore. Peaky Blinders is a taut, immersive journey into ambition, loyalty, and survival. A portrait of a man and a family striving to dominate a city that is as unforgiving as it is intoxicating. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this list, don't forget to hit the like button and share your favorite thriller series in the comments. Your suggestions always help us discover more hidden gems. We'll be back soon with another roundup packed with twists, tension, and binge-worthy stories.